What's up guys, it's Chachi Power here to do my first Macross review. And yes, it's another plastic figure, but it's a very good one. This review is for the Yamato 148 scale Macross VF1A Angel Birds edition. So let's go ahead and take a look now. I'm going to have to improvise on the whole packaging thing, which I usually show you guys. Just don't have it with me. But this is basically the front of the box, and it's got the flap where you lift it up and then you can actually see the entire figure. This is what the inside looks like after you lift up the flap. He's packaged in fighter mode with all his accessories. I'm not going to pretend I know everything about Macross because I don't. Really, this review is just to take a look at this figure as a toy, so don't expect the whole Macross story here. But just going to look at the underside of the fighter. You can see I have the landing gear out. I think the underside looks pretty clean. Last time I handled the Macross toy, besides those cheap ones from the 80s, the little plastic knockoff types, was a 160 scale Yamato I got a few years back, which I never opened. I was too afraid to mess it up, but this one's plastic. It's not diecast, so not as afraid to mess around with it. But I basically want to just show you guys some of the details of this figure here. You can remove the nose cone here, and it's got like a little radar thing, I believe. It's a nice touch. You can see the cockpit opens up, and it fits this little figure here. Don't know his name. Like I said, I didn't follow the cartoon and all that too much. It was years ago. But he goes in there. I think the only thing I know about this is it made a brief appearance in the anime. Because I don't remember really seeing this guy ever. But I'm going to go ahead and start moving pieces around and try and transform this guy. Like I said, I didn't read any instructions. So I'm sure I'm going to do something wrong. I'm going to have to go back and redo the transformation. But this way, if there's other people out there like me that aren't into Macross or have not messed around with a lot of these toys, they can at least see what's going on here. I sort of know what I'm doing since I've handled some Valkyries in the past, but this seems to have a lot more detail. But I'm just winging it here, so hopefully it doesn't take up too much time. But what I'm going to do is first put him in the Gerwalk mode. Keep in mind, this is my first time transforming him. I did see a video of someone transforming this guy, so I have some idea of what's going on. But I'm sure I'm going to forget something. But as soon as I get his arm situated here, we'll move on to everything else. Now with the little video magic, I'm just going to skip ahead. And now he's starting to look more like what he needs to look like. I start to do something with these fins back here, so I'm going to fold them down. I guess this goes up here. There's actually something under here that actually clips this and holds it. But because I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to move on and actually pull his little hands out. His little skeleton hands of his. I believe some of these toys, there's other variations that come with anime hands. This unfortunately does not. It comes with these little flimsy little finger things which are articulated. But I have a really big complaint with those, is that the fingers just fall apart. The one on this figure, the right arm, the hand on the right arm just falls apart all the time. So that's why it didn't come out of the wrist pocket there. I actually had it on the side so I don't mess it up. So this is basically what I'm trying to get at, is this look here. Oh, there we go. This is the part I was waiting to pop up. Thank God this is plastic, so there's not a lot of scratching going on with paint. But I'm going to try and put it in Valkyrie mode. Just got to mess around with this shield thing here. Bring it down. I like the way they work that in instead of just having it snap on. This piece right here, that little thing that's hanging down right in between his legs, that is completely metal, so there's no worries about breaking that here. That's pretty much the only metal part of this figure. But I'm folding in these little things on the side, which are the hole covers for when it's in fighter mode. When they fold in, they actually snap around this bar that extends through the legs, and it snaps into the nose cone and holds that there. You just close that flap on the nose cone. clip it in there like that. Now you have the legs done and the chest. I'm going to work on these arms here and finally show you guys this little hook I was talking about. That hook comes out and it holds the little backpack in place. Just like so. Just snap it on. You're going to want to push that in. It goes a little bit further than you think it would. And it snaps in really tight. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen the mistake I made, and that is I forgot to pull the head through. Which is a pretty obvious thing you need to do before he converts into a Valkyrie. But you can pull that through. It actually fits really well without messing up the antenna. So I basically backtracked a bit here. But I'm going to do exactly what I did before, which is snap this into the nose cone here and then close a little flap, which holds it in place. Now that I have the head out. Then I just make sure everything is secure. Turn him around. Now we're going to try and get his head on the right direction. That little black thing on his neck needs to be turned around just like that, and then it snaps down. It basically holds the head in place. And I'm going to fold his wings down. Now what we got to do is actually get this backpack into place again. There we go with the little hook. Snap that in. And he's actually starting to look more and more like a robot. There's a few adjustments here. You're going to have to snap this whole section in the back. That little bar there that's made out of metal, you're going to have to snap it into his back. Which I didn't know until I realized he looked pretty stupid the way I had him. So I ended up just pushing and it snapped in. And I'm going to replace the hands. Like I said, they fall apart so I don't keep them in there. Trying to take them out, they just explode everywhere, so I put them in after. His hands actually remind me of that weird caretaker in Scary Movie 2, the one with the little hand, where he's like screaming out the window, "Grab on to my strong hand." Yeah, basically that's what his hands look like on this figure. I don't know what's up with not including extra hands, but I don't know, there must have been a reason. Keep the cost down or something. But here you go. It's falling apart. Here's the pinky, thumb. So it's just basically garbage to me. This hand doesn't fall apart, but it's very flimsy. So I'm going to just check out some of the motion here. On the knees, swivels. It's got a pretty good amount of movement. I noticed the only way to get the leg to move up this far is to actually snap the back off. Basically separate it, give it space like I've done here. Head movement is pretty typical for this type of figure. Up and down. You can actually make him look really down if you snap the neck off. But don't think it's meant to go that far. So yeah, this is it's a nice figure. The paint on it actually is what I like a lot about this, because normally on a die-cast figure the paint chips off very easily. The paint on this seems to be fused to the plastic, because I've rubbed it against other parts of the figure and nothing is chipping off at all. So I'm pretty happy with the paint on this. So as a die-cast lover, what's my opinion of this figure? Well, I only picked it up because he was very, very cheap. But I'm actually very impressed. I'm thinking about getting more Valkyries. Hopefully they will have more metal. But this is definitely a good buy. That's it for now. I'll be back with some more reviews soon.